there, guys? It's Joe, Sloppy Joe Shred Shack, and today we're going to be taking a look at a Schecter C-6 Plus. Let's hear what this thing sounds like. Well, anyways, welcome back to the Shred Shack. If you haven't seen my face before, my name is Joe. It's very, very nice to have you. Now, I'm going to have you do all that cringy YouTuber stuff. Hit that subscribe, smash that bell. You know, follow me in all the upcoming videos. Here's why. When you do that, it helps the algorithm. You're going to get more guitar-related content, and you're going to give me a reason to live. So that's always nice. But anyways, I do want to thank Bruce from Good Times Music for allowing me to steal this off the shelf. If you are looking to purchase this guitar, it is at Good Times Music in Houghton, Michigan, if you want to check out the exact one that I touched today. But anyways, guys, we're just going to whip the specs out as I see them here real quick. So we have a really, really light guitar. This thing is light. It's a basswood body. This is going to be a quilted maple veneer, or at least I believe is a maple veneer. You got a volume, a tone, a three-way selector. You have a two-pneumatic bridge, and obviously it's a string-through body, as you can tell right here. So then it's got two humbuckers. I think they're just called like they're just stock humbuckers. At least on the website, they were just like, they are in fact magnets. And I'm like, well, cool. I like that. All right, that works for what I'm doing here. So it is 24 frets. Now, from what I understand, this is a 14-inch radius. It does feel right too. No like goofy frets or anything like that. They looks like jumbo frets for sure. Then just a regular, plastic nut. You have the headstock. Now, the thing that I do like about this headstock design is that it's a straight string pull. So what I mean by that, what I mean by that is that the strings aren't like at an angle. At least I don't think they are. No, and maybe a little bit, but not much. So that's really cool. Like that helps out a lot. So that's pretty nifty right there. On the back side, we have just little import tuners, pretty standard sealed tuners. You do have a scarf joint right here. You can see that right in the neck there. I'm gonna see if I can focus on it. Yeah, you can see that, at this price point, you're gonna get a scarf joint. This isn't gonna be a one-piece neck, but like, not bad. I mean, it honestly doesn't matter too much. As long as the construction's good, you can have as many pieces as you want, in my opinion. So, but yeah, fret ends are pretty solid, and the neck kind of feels like a thin C. It's it kind of has like the roundness of a Fender, but it's much thinner than a Fender Stratocaster or something like that, or the modern Fender Stratocasters for sure. On the back side here, this is kind of a cool little thing going on, is that it's got this like almost like carved heel going on, so that's pretty fun. It's really easy to get to the upper frets without any resistance. Nothing's in the way. As you can tell, like I was saying before, string through body, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. It's just a really beautiful color. Like, look at the wood grain and stuff on the back there, if I can try to find the right light for it. But it's a very, very pretty guitar for sure. So but yeah, so what do I think about this instrument? It's very middle of the road. Now, the reason I grabbed this instrument is, one, I've literally never played a Schecter in my life. I take that back. I have played one Keith Merrow Schecter way back in the day. So I am a blank slate when it comes to Schecter. Now, I'm definitely of the notion of like, oh God, Schecter is butt rock, you know what I mean? Like, or spiky hair and stuff like that. But I will say, especially over the last few years, you've seen some really excellent players. I mean, I think Nick Johnston for sure, like excellent guitar player, and really kind of breaks the mold of what Schecter kind of stands for. I think like that cringy, like Avenged Sevenfold, like abalone with like the bats, and it just looks really, really like tacky. But like, you know, they've kind of become their own thing. Of course, they have all their like tacky stuff for sure, but like they have some really classy stuff that also doesn't include, because I think this is entirely different. They have Schecter Japan, which is like not even a part of Schecter somehow. It's a whole thing. So we get like the American Schecter, and that's a whole different ball game, right? So, but I will say, like, this looks like a guitar. So who is this aimed at? This is kind of aimed at like the lower intermediate guitar, like the lower intermediate guitarist. It's a good sounding guitar. I'm not gonna say it does anything. It doesn't blow me out of the water. This guitar doesn't. What did like make me, I don't even know, kind of surprised by it was like how solid the guitar was. I didn't find a single issue with it. But yeah, it's a solid guitar. I would say, like, especially this price point, this is like the guitar, like you're upgrading from like your first guitar. This is your second guitar, and this one you're probably gonna beat the living hell out of. Like, that's kind of where it's at. Also, it's a very good mod platform because like the bones are really nice on this, so you could put new pickups in it. The electronics were fine from what I could tell. So, you know, replace the tuners, maybe the nut, new pickups, and this thing is kind of like a beast, if I'm being completely frank. It's a very nice guitar. Again, it doesn't do anything crazy. It doesn't like blow your socks off, but it also doesn't suck. And I think there's something to be said for that. Like, in this price point, that's kind of like the unsung hero of guitars, are just like guitars that aren't bad and they're good. It's just a good guitar, you know. I guess that's the only way that I can really describe this thing. It's just good. So like, I'm not going to say that it's going to play like a $2,000 guitar. I'm not going to say that it's punching above its price point. It's playing like, it plays like a $400 to $600 guitar. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but it doesn't do it bad, and I think that's really, really important. So like I was saying, it's aimed at that like intermediate guitar player, like the person who's like wants to get into like rock or heavy metal. You can do a lot of other stuff on this, but I mean, this is a rock and heavy metal guitar for sure, but it's gonna do it excellently without any modifications whatsoever. And it's got good bones, so you can learn how a guitar operates with this by doing truss rod adjustments and different things of that nature, and this is gonna be able to take it. Like, and lastly, it just looks good. It's just, I wish I had more to say. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was good though. And again, I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, and I apologize. You can probably put a counter going. I'm sure somebody will do that. But like, yeah, guys, this is, if you're looking for like a good, like heavy metal guitar or like a rock guitar for sure, this is right up your alley. But the next thing that I will say is that I was really surprised by the sounds I was able to get out of this. I'm really picky about my sound. I really am. I like, it's very particular. These pickups aren't bad. They're not great, but they're not bad. I have reviewed pickups that were bad before, or like played guitars with them. I'm like, God, these pickups are just terrible. They're really decent. Like, I would gig with these right out of the box. You could definitely gig with this, no questions whatsoever. But like, guy, you're gonna hear it. So in the demo, you're gonna hear me do some like bigger chords and stuff like that. And in like the clean, the crunch and the rhythm part, I'm gonna use every pickup selection. So like for every riff, because I want you to hear what each pickup sounds like in that particular context. Now in the demo, I'm also gonna have like a metal riff in there too, because like, let's be honest, like the people who are going to be buying this are probably like getting into metal and stuff like that. This is going to be able to do it very, very well. The one thing that I will say though is that like there is some like jangling, but that's with any guitar, so I would just buy a Jimmy clip if you didn't like the jangle, but you can't really hear it. And if any, to me, it adds to the sound, but like, you know, it's really not that bad. So like, guys, we're gonna jump into the tone demo portion of this here. So this is just gonna be plugged straight into my Rev Generator 100p. I'm just gonna have a little bit of onboard reverb coming from the head, and that's about it. The IR that's on the back of this is a it's a 2-note torpedo that's coming out of this, and it's a Rev 412 with a 57 and a 121 right in the drop dead center of a vintage 30. So it's pretty standard, and I'm gonna go through a clean tone, a crunch tone, a rhythm tone, and then I will do a lead and, you know, a metal tone. So guys, let's hear what this thing sounds like. So anyways, that is what the Schecter C6 Plus sounds like. It's really good for the price point. This is one of my favorite, like, sub $500 guitars. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting garbage. I was definitely on the train of Schecter's garbage, and it's for garbage people who like garbage haircuts and wear bedazzled jeans. Apparently, not so when it comes to the quality. Like, for $400, you are getting a ton, and I mean a ton of just really good bones. Like, you can't complain about this. That's the thing. Like, I don't really have a gripe. I've played much more expensive guitars that have worse QC than this thing. So, like, man, good job, Schecter. I'm not gonna say, like, I am a Schecter fanboy, but I will say that I am no longer on the Schecter hate train because of this. And as my buddy Tony said, if it's good enough for Jeff Loomis, it's good enough for him. It's good enough for me. So, but you know, good job. Now, if I was to give this a rating, I'm gonna give this a solid 8.2 maybe. It's solid. It's just a good guitar. It doesn't do anything great, but it doesn't do anything bad. And that, honestly, if you can find something that doesn't do anything bad, you got the golden ticket there, bud. But anyways, I would recommend this to a family or a friend. Second guitar for sure. It's that lower intermediate kind of thing. But, you know, you could hang out with this for a while for sure. But anyways, guys, if you like what you're seeing here, definitely hit that subscribe button, smash that bell, and all that fun stuff. I don't know. Make me happy. Have the algorithm work in your favor. All that. But, you know, I don't really have much for you today. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. I am going to leave you with a little bit of wisdom here. Now, if you ever run into someone that is trying to manipulate you and does a really good job at it, you're going to catch on eventually. And you might feel really bad in the moment of like, why didn't I catch this sooner? Sometimes people are really sneaky like that. And don't blame yourself for other people being bad, which I guess is the point that I'm trying to make. There are terrible people out there that will use and abuse other human beings, and it's wrong, you know, and we're not all perfect, but, you know, if you catch yourself in a situation where you've been horribly wronged for whatever reason, the best thing that you can do is just not give them any of your time anymore. No negativity, no positivity. Leave them in the dust. They're going to hate that so much more than you fighting back sometimes, because the only thing they want from you is your attention, and if you give them none, you're doing great. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. So if someone's wrong to you, pretend they don't even exist, man. That's all you can do. Anyways, guys, later.